He just happens to be the lawyer for Andrew and Tristan Tate, two of my friends. I put it out there. I don't care if you like me or not. I know these fellas well. You know, I'm old enough to be their dad. I know them well. I've been through the evidence in their case. I've had a lot of conversation with them. I'm into it. And I can tell you this, I believe they're innocent. In Romania, I believe they were framed. I believe that the woke section of our society and our government went after them in a big way because they are trying to teach men how to be men.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Michael Franzese is simping for Andrew Tate again. For over 2 years now, Michael has been one of the Tates' most loyal lapdogs. Since the aftermath of their initial arrest in December 2022, Michael has regularly gone into bat for the self-confessed traffickers. He's made the trip to Romania to allow both Andrew and Tristan to use his platform to spread propaganda about their human trafficking case. And now he's done an interview with the Tate's bumbling buffoon of a lawyer, Joseph McBride. I'll get more into McBride in the latter part of this video, but first, let's treat the former mafia man Michael Franzese like the clown that he is. Before moving forward, independent content like this is made possible with all of your support. If you'd like to help out, please consider becoming a member or buying a coffee. The links are in the description. Okay, back to the video. Michael was giddy with excitement about the prospect of the Tates having their case in Romania dismissed and being free to travel to California to have a big lunch with Michael to celebrate.
I really appreciate you coming on, Joe. I really do. And listen, if they get vindicated in Romania soon and they can leave the country, Andrew says he's coming straight to California. So I'm inviting you to come out with him and dinner on me. We're going to have celebration. We're going to open up a few bottles of Franzese wine. We're going to have a huge celebration in all of your honor for doing the right job.
Well, I look forward to that, Michael. Thank you so much.
And I talked to Andrew quite a bit. We text each other back and forth, and he's just waiting patiently to see that this thing falls apart. And he said the first thing that he's going to do is come to America. And I hope that he does, because now America, there's a reset here. He's not going to be looked at the same way he was looked at before.
Michael, you are going to be waiting a very long time for Andrew to join you at this meal. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but in March 2024, extradition to the UK was approved for both Andrew and Tristan Tate for more charges of human trafficking and rape. If the case in Romania was dismissed, they would be immediately arrested, thrown in handcuffs, and thrown in a plane to be transported to the UK. Listen to how Michael gaslights his audience about why the Tates have criminal charges and why people want them in prison.
I'll say this right out, and Andrew is my friend. We've discussed it. Some of the things that he says on social media is over the top, and I can understand people being upset with him. But it does not rise to the standard of criminality. You don't put criminal conduct on people because they talk on the internet or they say something that you don't like or that we don't like. You don't do it. But that's what happened here. I tried to tell people came back to me and said, you know, Michael, you didn't see what they said on social media. I said, people, what you say on social media doesn't necessarily rise to the standard of criminality. You don't indict people because they say something that you don't like on social media. You have to have evidence. You have to have facts. And they don't exist when it comes to Andrew and Tristan.
Michael is trying to convince his viewers, and perhaps himself, that Tate has criminal charges and people want him off the streets because he posted some things on social media that we don't like. No, Michael, the reason that people want Andrew Tate in prison is that he is a self-confessed trafficker and predator of underage girls. And unlike you, we don't like trafficking and child. The next point is something that I asked Michael to back up on Twitter. He made a ridiculous nonsense post about how he knows for a fact that the Tates are being prosecuted because people don't like their posts on social media. When I called him out for it, he responded by asking if I'd read the recent court document where the judges directed the Romanian prosecutors to either produce evidence or dismiss the charges. When I asked him to produce these documents to prove that he isn't lying, he blocked me. And yet, here he is in this video a few days later, repeating this lie.
Now let's switch to Andrew Tate. You heard what Joe McBride had to say. Been vindicated. The Romanian court, there's no evidence here. They told the prosecutors, you better come back and show some evidence or this case is going away.
Go on, Michael, post these court documents. You won't, because you can't, because they don't exist, because this never happened. It becomes very clear very quickly that Michael Franzese is full tater-tot.
They'll tell you why. In Romania, the case is falling apart. There's no evidence.
The case is falling apart. There's no evidence. This is pulled word for word from the Tate fanboy script. Michael Franzese really is a shameless fool. Now we can hear Michael make some incredibly strong accusations.
And I know for a fact that they tried to, the government, the Romanian government, as well as in the UK, tried to intimidate women to testify against them, and they wouldn't do it. They said, hey, these guys didn't do anything wrong. Whatever we did willingly.
Yeah, I totally agree. From everything that I've seen over there, I know they were coercing some of the women to try to say, they were scaring them, trying to make the accusation of human trafficking, and they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't fall for it, you know? So, I mean, it's terrible what these people can do.
Michael says he knows for a fact that the Romanian prosecutors were trying to intimidate and coerce women into testifying against the Tates. When he says he knows this as a fact, what he really means is that he was told this by a certain bald man with no chin. He says that none of the women would testify against the Tates. Yet there is 15 women so far that we know of who have testified against Andrew and Tristan Tate, including one who Andrew is charged with raping when she was a 15-year-old girl. Once again, Michael Franzese is dribbling shit. Next, Michael excuses the Tates for being poor boys with hard upbringings.
And let me tell you something. These two men had a very tough upbringing. Very tough upbringing. And the things that they did when they were younger, they're not doing today. We all made mistakes. I made mistakes when I was younger. And I'm not doing those same things today. You get older, you get wiser, you understand. Sometimes you do things out of desperation, you know? But then you change, you understand.
Michael says the things that they were doing when they were younger, they aren't doing today. Those things were trafficking women into online pornography. You can say it, Michael. They also aren't doing it today only because they got caught. The Tates were running their fans operation all the way up until their December 2022 arrest. We should hardly be celebrating people for stopping committing crimes because they got caught. Michael really does some mental gymnastics to justify why his friends shouldn't be prosecuted for their crimes.
And if you want to indict anybody, indict the person that created fans. It's not illegal, maybe distasteful, but he created it. Nobody's going after him. People love that site. I've never been on it, but people love that site.
Just bonkers and wacky stuff. Michael says, don't indict my friends when there is evidence of them trafficking women and children into online work. Instead, indict the owner of fans because OnlyFans bad. Just the most pathetic piece of whataboutism you will ever see. It is now time to get into the insane things that Joseph McBride, the Tate's lawyer, was saying to Michael in this interview. But first, a bit of context. Joseph McBride is currently fighting disbarment, losing his license to practice law for his disgraceful conduct while representing the Tates.
Yeah, for sure. I have to be very careful about what I say. So I'm going to say this in the most legalistic way possible because their legal team tried to gag me and muzzle me in Florida. The judge was not having it. They've subsequently filed a bar complaint against me in New York to try to intimidate me, to try to silence me and go after my license. We're going to win that as well. But right now I am under a microscope for my advocacy, which has all
They've tried to go after your license.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was filed by just ridiculous UK law firm, but now they filed a complaint against me in New York to try to shut me up. But you know, look, I'm a pretty good attorney. I cross all my T's and dot all my I's. I stay within the bounds of the law. I'm going to win that case. I have to fight it. I'm not worried about it. I have one of the best ethics attorneys in the world on it, and we're going to put that to bed shortly.
Why is McBride facing the prospect of losing his law license in disgrace? Joseph McBride is representing the Tates in the US, not Romania, where they are suing two of the victims in the Romanian human trafficking case in what is a ridiculous, frivolous lawsuit designed to intimidate these victims and others from coming forward. After filing this lawsuit, McBride repeatedly posted court documents including the full names of these women, their addresses, phone numbers, and the contact information of one of the women's parents who were originally part of the lawsuit to his Twitter account over and over and over, repeatedly doxing them. On countless interviews, he has lied and slandered these women and told ridiculous lies about the Tate's cases, which we will get into. When someone posted an article including testimonies from some of Tate's alleged victims, where they said that he violently raped and strangled them, McBride responded with this line of laughing emojis. He thinks it's funny that his client has consistently had women saying that he raped them since 2012. And now, Mr. McBride has given us another insight into his mind. In Kanye's latest unhinged meltdown on Twitter, when he said in all caps, "Slavery is a choice," McBride posted a reply saying that whoever posted this community note is gay. Andrew Tate's lawyer, Joseph McBride, is officially pro-slavery.
Well, the Romanian court, because the Romanian court and the rules of Romania are absolutely nuts when you compare it to the American system, the Romanian prosecutor, upon a unilateral finding of reasonable suspicion with no other evidence other than his opinion, was able to have these guys indicted, put them on house arrest, throw them in jail, without any evidence being presented to the court. They were able to bury this evidence in the Romanian court for almost 2 years while their prosecutor worked on the file. The prosecutor has immense power over there.
Joseph McBride said that Romanian prosecutors are able to indict the Tates, put them in jail, put them on house arrest, all without presenting any evidence to the court. This almost feels so silly that I don't need to debunk it. But pre-trial detention, house arrest, and judiciary control are what are called preventative measures. According to the Romanian constitution, preventative measures may be ordered if there is evidence or probable cause leading to a reasonable suspicion that a person committed an offence, to prevent the suspect or defendant from avoiding criminal investigation, or to prevent them from committing another offence. DCOT, before requesting preventative arrest, had to provide evidence to the court to corroborate the statements of the injured persons, meaning the victims testifying against the Tates who have chosen to become eligible for financial compensation. He says that they were able to indict them with no evidence presented and bury this in the court for over 2 years. This is just embarrassing. We have seen plenty of evidence that came in the June 2023 indictment. It is public information. Text messages, voice notes, victim and witness testimony. We can see there is CCTV footage listed, financial documentation. You can go on and on. McBride is a lying idiot.
So what we did is we sued their wrongful accusers in 2023 in a Florida court of law, and we were able to publish the allegations, the truth of what actually happened in Romania, to demonstrate not only are these guys, is that case false, we published it to the Florida docket. The world was able to see for the first time what really happened, and as soon as that took place, the Romanian judges, the Romanian system got to see what actually happened. For the first time, and the Romanian court took a look at the file for the first time. And as soon as they actually took a look at the file, all of a sudden they're out of jail. They're off of house arrest. Their first indictment is gone away now.
This is a lie I've heard McBride tell in multiple interviews, and I find it just stunning that even a single person doesn't immediately hear this and recognize it as absolutely absurd. He talks about the court in Romania not having had access to evidence, which we've established is ridiculous. He says that his lawsuit in the US has brought evidence to light in the Romanian case, when the opposite is the truth. The Tate's lawsuit in Florida is only now entering the discovery phase. The judge in Florida has not yet had the chance to look at the evidence in the case in Romania. And when he does, he will see the extent of the lies that he has been told by McBride and the Tates. The court in Florida has not yet had access to the evidence in Romania. And not only is McBride saying they have, but he's trying to say that this brought evidence into the public domain that can be used in the trafficking case in Romania, which he is claiming resulted in the Tates being released from house arrest. This is just incredible.
Human trafficking allegations are gone in Romania, and now it's only what's left. It's like this second B-rated indictment against them that's soon going to be going as well.
This last clip truly says it all. The human trafficking charges are apparently gone in Romania, and there's just this second B-rated indictment that's soon going to be gone as well. What an idiot this man is. This is straight from a 12-year-old Hustlers University student's script of repeatedly declaring that the case is dismissed. McBride is not only a moron, but a dangerous scumbag. I haven't touched in this video on his so-called work representing the January 6 defendants, but I will likely have some wild stuff to share on that front very soon. As for Michael Franzese, what is your deal, Michael? Are you accepting money from self-confessed sex trafficking child predators? Or is your embarrassing simping for the Tates due to something a bit more dark? Witnesses who spent time in the Tate circle reported that Andrew would regularly host parties at their home attended by girls aged between 16 and 22. So, Michael Franzese, you have opened yourself up to the question: are you on the Tate list?